What's up, everybody? It's Dominic369 for Occultism Unleashed, and we are going to try this again. We're going to try this again today, man. Uranus went direct in Taurus on the 27th. Uranus does rule technology, and how, I don't know, but all the drivers to my microphone and things like that on my computer got deleted. You guys know that people don't care for the things that I say, so there's always a potential for cyber crap. But we deal with that too. Full-time pressure. We make moves in a lot of ways around here. We gifted and wear many hats, many hats. So that problem has been solved, and we gonna give y'all what y'all looking for. So Uranus went direct in Taurus at 20 degrees in the United States 5th house. Now, the interesting thing is Taurus rules the United States 3rd house, the people, the general public, the mindset of the public. And what we have is a situation in Texas. And I want to remind you that the last two times that Uranus was in Taurus was the Great Depression, the beginnings of the Civil War, and prior to that, in 1781, America was fighting the Revolutionary War against the British for the very things that people are uprising in Texas about. Abuse of government power, abuse of authority of the centralized government. And I'm here to tell you that the things down in Texas are not going to be pretty. There's a trucker convoy on the way down there, and the United States Army has been sending tanks down there for a so-called exercise. The governor of Texas has stated emphatically that he is ready for an armed conflict with the federal government, and they're summoning volunteers to Texas. So things are about to get very interesting in the United States. Very interesting. As you can see, this is United States natal Uranus. Saturn in Pisces is making a square. This square is going to be active all of February to the beginning of March. This is going to cause a lot of economic problems to the United States. This is also going to cause civil unrest, to say the least. Now, the interesting thing is Saturn is in Pisces, and the United States intersected 3rd house. And I've told you before, many times before, the 3rd house has to do with the media, information, and it's intercepted. So this is telling you there's going to be a lot of deception about this. A lot of deception about what's really going on. Uranus transiting is moving into a trine with Neptune in the United States 9th house. And as you can see, the moon is moving to a conjunction. Your government is lying to you about the things that are going on overseas. It's a lot worse than they're telling you. And it's going to get even worse. This is what I can guarantee you. Uranus, as it approaches this trine, you will see mass deception. Mass deception, because Uranus will move out of the 5th house, which governs the market and stock and investments and things like that, and into the 6th house that governs the military and the police as it approaches a square with the natal moon. The natal moon rules the United States' 8th house. The 8th house governs debt. It governs death. Be aware there are some major financial problems coming to the United States. Major escalations in the civil unrest. You see up here, the United States transit in vertex is approaching an opposition with the moon. Again, the moon rules the United States' 8th house of death and debt. This week is going to unveil some things about the financial system of the United States. We see Mercury will move into an opposition with the United States natal Mercury. They will pull back funding for their allies and investments in things going on overseas, because the reality is becoming inescapable when it comes to the debt situation, the financial problems that the nation is having. The ruler of debt is also making a square to Mars today. Mars rules the lower class, and it also rules the 4th house of real estate. There are going to be some bad announcements about the real estate situation in the United States over the next week or so, because, well, really the next 2 days, as 3 days, because it takes about 2.5 days for the moon to move out of a sign. So after it squares Mars, it's going to square Venus, it's going to square Jupiter, it's going to square the Sun, it's going to square Mercury, it's going to square the vertex, it's going to square the part of fortune as it moves into Leo, as it moves into the sign of Libra in the 10th house. It's also going to conjoin Saturn, which rules the U.S. house of money, values, and possessions. It's going to conjunct Saturn in the 10th, which represents the office of the president. There may be health issues announced about Joe Biden, but there's definitely going to be some issues going on. Stay tuned also for when the moon hits that last eclipse point, the Mayat eclipse. There's going to be some impeachments and other legal actions. Very interesting legal actions. Yesterday, Venus opposed Jupiter. Venus rules the 6th house of the military, police, law enforcement, landlords, farm, and agriculture. Jupiter rules the United States' 1st house, the face of the nation. You saw what happened to them troops overseas. They got hollered at. And it's worse than they're telling you. It's worse than they're telling you. I'm letting you know that now. And the only reason they haven't struck back is because if they strike Iran, then Iran has a strategic partnership with Russia. You go to war with Iran, and you're directly going to war with Russia. So the international situation is hot and it's tight right now. Mars is adding to the party. Mars is about to make an opposition to Mercury, which rules the legal system. You're going to see the Republicans going after, judges and things like that, to impeach judges and things like that in the coming weeks. And you're also going to see Republicans and, the citizens who are underrepresented attacking and marching against the United States allies. This means a very dramatic heat up here in the United States. against the Zionist occupation of Palestine and the, genocide against the Palestinian people. Trust and believe it's about to heat up. It's about to heat up. Jupiter is making that square to the United States North Node in the 8th house. It's going to get pretty intense. It's going to get pretty intense, Jack. You got Mercury and Mars moving into a square with Chiron in the US's 4th house. Now, Chiron is a planet of healing and transformation. It's a planet that represents, everlasting suffering, but the desire to heal. Because the 4th house represents the underserved community in the nation, I want black people to understand, if you don't do it for yourself, it's not going to happen. And most of us don't want that responsibility. So the things that, are going on will continue. I've said it before. I can't save black people. There is no Messiah coming to save you. Even when, there's nothing left in the Middle East except ashes and, wasteland. No Messiah is coming back. No Jewish zombie is coming to save you. No spaceship with aliens is coming to save you. If beings come from another dimension, here it will be for war, not to make peace, not to help you and be buddy-buddy. I promise you that. That I can promise you. I highly recommend that you take responsibility and get yourself situated. Get yourself situated. Make sure you have things to maintain your level of comfort. That's your responsibility and nobody else's. I say that again, your responsibility and nobody else's. As Venus moves into opposition with the sun, you will see the United States go into war overseas. It's about 6 days, 5 days. Next 5 to 8 days, you'll see a lot of stuff pop off with the United States overseas. In the military. And it's going to make things worse. Dramatically worse. This is what I can guarantee you. And in that period, Venus will also make a square to Saturn in the 10th. And again, this is bad news for Joe Biden. Very bad news for his personal health and his leadership position in the United States. I assure you this. Please understand, Trump is going to win the election. You heard it from me. If there is one, he will win it. And what I will say is, it ain't gonna be the party you think it is. It doesn't matter. That's what I can guarantee you. Doesn't matter who goes into the office or anything. The universe is at work, and it will not be stopped. It won't be stopped. It's gonna get interesting. Very interesting, to say the least. February, I'll do more readings and go more in depth into the things that's coming from these Venus transits and other transits in the US chart. But for now, I recommend you be safe. Get familiar with your chart, very familiar with your chart, and learn your strengths and weaknesses. As always, I invite you to use the link in the description to join Mystic University if you're sincerely interested in tapping into your spiritual power. The Divine Mother Monica Bey has been my teacher for over 10 years, and many of you understand the level of spiritual power and understanding that I have. Highly recommend you join Mystic University. Peace.